Hey guys, we are at the Rio Grande del Norte National Monument and at the Rio Grande recreation area. And the reason we are here is we drove all the way to Taos, New Mexico to hike Wheeler Peak or Wheeler Mountain, and they just closed the National Forest a couple days ago. So we drove all the way out here and we weren't able to hike the state Highpoint. So this is the closest place around Taos that has open trails because most of the area around Taos is National Forest, so it's all closed. So we came out here, never heard of this place, don't know anything about it. We just stopped at the visitor center and got a map, and we're gonna try not to bake too much out here. Doesn't look like there's gonna be a whole lot of shade once we get up a little bit, but we'll show you around, and we don't even really have a clear plan of what exactly we're hiking. We're just gonna go for it and see what we can find. So where we're headed is right up on top of this rim, which is the rim of the canyon for the Rio Grande. And we started right down at the river, which is, it's the parking lot middle of the shot. The river is just a little ways down from that. Really cool area. Like I said, never heard of it, but really pretty.
Just stood there and never let it show, so she could never answer yes or no. And then one day a wealthy customer bought the Indian maid and took her oh so far away, but old Kalijah stayed. Kalijah just stands there as lonely as can be and wishes he was still an old pine tree. Oh, Kalijah, he never got a kiss. Oh, Kalijah, he don't know what he missed. Is he any wonder that his face is red? Kalijah, that poor old wooden head.
We've almost made it to the top. We're already higher up than the rim to the west. Already got some pretty good views. Small mountains out that way, and then a lot bigger mountains. This is the start of them, looking back toward Taos. Maybe when we get to the rim, you'll be able to see them. So we just made it up to the rim, and this is looking back out away from the river. Pretty good views up here. And the road we drove down from Taos is right in front of those mountains. And go down quite a bit in elevation out that way. And then we took a lot smaller road through the National Monument down by the river. So that's the road we're going to be taking on our way out. Leads to there's a small bridge down there that leads to the west side, and then we'll drive up that side of the river and cross over the big bridge. They got another small area up there you can park, and I'll try to add that on to the end of this video. So we just made it up the Picaris Trail, and depending on which map you look at, it was either 0.8 miles to the top or it was 1.4 miles to the top. Their maps are really crude here, just printed out on a sheet of paper, and it has lines for elevation, but it doesn't say what they are, so I'm not real sure how far we came up. It was fairly steep, and now we are on the Rift Valley Trail. The Rift Valley Trail is a 10.5 mile loop around this flat area on the top of the rim. We're just doing a small section of it, and then we're going over to, I believe it's pronounced the Clower Trail, and should be hiking right along the rim, able to see down into the river.
But no one and no place to stay. My heroes have always been cowboys, and they still are, it seems.
So I guess I should mention We came to Taos to hike Wheeler Mountain, which I've already mentioned, but we're staying in Hotel Luna Mystica, which is a bunch of old retro trailers that they refurbished, and it's kind of out in an area kind of like this, but with great views of the mountains, and it's right next to the Taos brewery mothership. And what's interesting about all that is when we showed up yesterday, they're having a festival. What was the name of it?
Tribal Vision.
The Tribal Vision Festival. And as you might have gathered from that name, it was some very eccentric hippie type people, which I'm not hating on, but it's definitely a lot different than us. And anyway, so that was very interesting. They had the brewery closed just for their festival. However, staying in that little hotel area, we got a free drink, so we walked over there and did a little people watching. And I don't know, I guess all I can say is it was very interesting. It's crazy. There's all types of people out there, and there's all types of people at the brewery. So we're on the Clower Trail now, and it's more like a little Jeep trail. It's not too bad. Most of these trails on top have been pretty flat, very minimal elevation lost or gained.
I'm sitting in the railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour of one night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band.
So we made it around the loop up here at the top. Just taking in one last view from the rim, and we're gonna head back down the Picaris Trail, back toward the river and back toward our car, and then grab some lunch down there. This is one last look from the east rim back down to the river.
Endless stream of cigarettes and magazines.
Well, we made it back. So just to show you basically what we did is we hiked up this trail here. That's where all the elevation gain is. Then we hiked around this Rift Valley Trail up to here, connected into this trail here, hiked back, just made a small loop and back down. We were gone for 2.5 hours, and with our brakes, I would estimate that that was about probably 4 or 5 miles. Pretty good little hike. Definitely got hot on the way back down once we lost the breeze to the canyon walls. But we're down here close to the river now, and we're gonna find a good place to hang out and eat some lunch. We found a super nice spot down here by the river for our lunch break. Really quiet, shaded area, nobody else around. Having a Tex-Mex lunch. This is Packet Gourmet's queso, and Libya brought some dehydrated guacamole, and then we carried in a little bit of salsa with us, blue corn chips, and we also brought tortillas. So really good Tex-Mex lunch in an area that almost looks more like Big Bend than anything, and I guess if you keep following the river far enough, eventually you'll get down there. So we drove around to the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge, and that's the bridge. And about 800 foot below that's the Rio Grande River. We're gonna walk out there on the bridge and take a look. So that down there is the Rio Grande River, and this is looking south from the bridge. And this is the river looking back to the north. Well guys, that was our trip to the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge and National Monument. We appreciate you guys following along. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you down the trail.